Next, Rams versus Ravens. I almost said Raiders again. Stafford versus Lamar Jackson. One sec. I forgot to scroll up. Worst matchup in fantasy for Matthew Stafford. 11th best for Jackson. I am firing up Jackson. He is my 6 on the week. And Matthew Stafford is my 21. He's actually going to be moving up here. He is actually he's actually 16 now. I moved him up above a couple of guys, but so 16 for Stafford, 6 for Lamar. Lamar's an easy start. Stafford's an easy QB2. Not much upside. What do you think?
Yeah, so Stafford's actually been coming on strong the past few weeks where he's getting those touchdowns, and he's had his two best games of the season back to back, where he had
Matchup sucks.
seven combined touchdowns. But yeah, Baltimore they're a monster against quarterbacks in fantasy, so he's a little bit lower in my ranks. I need to double check where he's he's like QB20, just basically because of that. And Lamar's Lamar, like he never falls outside the top 7 just because that rushing upside is there. Even though he's been a little disappointing this year, you fire up Lamar, you trust him, and you just roll with it because he can single-handedly win you a week, particularly against a defense like the Rams.
Running backs. 6th worst matchup for the Rams. 9th worst matchup for the Ravens. I have Kyron Williams, easily my highest. He is RB13 for me. Keaton Mitchell is my highest ranked Raven at 22. Gus Edwards is at 27. I don't mind either Raven as a flex. I'm not sure I'm going to move Keaton Mitchell down a few. I don't think I'd want to start him over some of the guys I have here. I want to start Keaton Mitchell as my RB3 or my flex. If I'm starting Keaton Mitchell or Gus Edwards as my RB2, I don't like my chances. But who was it? Kyron Williams, I'd even take him as my RB1. He falls just outside of RB1 for me this week. How about you?
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Kyron's volume and role is just absurd. So he's running back, I think it's 11. Let me see, double check. He is, running back 11 this week, and you just fire him up because he's been the second best running back in fantasy behind only Christian McCaffrey, like on a per game basis. It's really incredible how good Kyron has been this year. So I get it. It's not a good matchup. I don't really care in firing him up. On the flip side, I have Mitchell a couple spots ahead of Gus just because we've seen him more accumulate, more role as the season goes on. And this could be a game where it's a struggle and they're not just completely blowing the Rams out where they lean on Gus. So I think Mitchell might have more role this game. So he's running back 31. Gus is running back 33. They're basically back-to-back for me, where you're just splitting hairs on which type of like asset you're choosing to go with. And then Justice Hill's running back 51. I'm not playing it this week.
20th best matchup for the Ravens wide receivers, 2nd worst for the Rams. My highest ranked receiver in this one is scary. It is Zay Flowers at 19, followed by Puka Nacua at 21 and Cooper Kupp at 23. Cooper Kupp worries me. I don't think he's even close to healthy. He looked better last week, but sadly, I want Zay Flowers in this one. I don't think with Mark Andrews out, there's just nobody else. So, What do you think?
Yeah, I'm with you on that. It's interestingly like Kupp's been dealing with injury, and now Puka's dealing with an AC injury. So they say he's going to play. He's going to be full go. It's just you worry about him a little bit because he did leave and he came back and he still was really good. He had a big play. So I'm not too worried about it. He's just been better than Kupp since Kupp's been back this year. So I have Puka and I will continue to have Puka above Kupp in rankings. But yeah, they're basically wide receiver 2s this week. And then Zay's actually lower. I need to check why Zay is so low. He's wide receiver 32. And I want to move him up because that seems low. Like I'm going to put him above probably Brandon Cooks at wide receiver 26 is probably where I'm going to rest with him right there, right in that range. But yeah, his volume, his role, like we're seeing it kind of grow and him be the focal point of that offense. So yeah, like we want that. So I'm chasing it.
Puka and Kupp, I would like, if I have them, I would like them to score fantasy points early because I expect at some point both of them will re-aggravate their injury slightly, whether it's a fall or tackle for Puka or just running for Kupp. This seems like one of those games where if they don't score, they're going to miss significant, there's going to be a stretch where they miss a series or two in the locker room. So I would love it if they could score me fantasy points early so I don't have to sweat the injury later. Tight end, 2nd best matchup for Baltimore. 6th worst for the Rams. Tyler Higbee is a desperation play. I think I have him at like 22. Isaiah Likely I have at 10. My theory with Isaiah Likely here is, excuse me, hiccup. If he doesn't produce this week, you drop him because the matchup ain't getting any better. If he doesn't do it, he's just done. He's dead to me. Kickers, Justin Tucker, sixth best matchup. You're firing him up as a top 5. I have Lucas Haversack as the 20th best matchup, but it's actually Mason Crosby now. I don't know where I have Mason Crosby. I know I've added him to my rankings. I think he's 20 something, 25, so I don't want to start him. I had Tucker as 2 this week. DSTs, Baltimore is always a good start, but they are the 6th worst matchup, 7th worst matchup for the Rams. I don't know if I'd want to start either of them. I could if you're forced into it. I have the Rams at 21, Ravens at, that's got to change. If the Ravens at 1, there's
Dude, they're
no
really high. Yeah.
fucking way I can take the Ravens at 1. The Ravens are going down to at least 5 for me here. I just can't do it.
Yeah.
So I can start the Ravens. I'd prefer to avoid the Rams. Any thoughts on all that mess?
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm like, I don't know why you play Higbee. He's just pure disappointment. Is what he is. Like, it's just you fire him up and you're gonna get 3 catches for 30 yards. You just hope it's a touchdown.
Unless
like,
Jeremy tells you how bad he is. If Jeremy tweets that he's shit, fire him up because he's scoring 3 touchdowns.
It's going tight end 1, baby. It's exactly what it is.
So check FF_Rebel on Twitter before the game to see whether or not Tyler Higbee is startable.
Yeah, exactly.
Just saying. Anything else on that, or you want me to move on?
Oh yeah, no, I'm fired up the Baltimore.